amazing Amanda Mulder here, trying to record my November video while I'm here at the library, which might be a short video because I'm running low on time, but I wanted to do my best considering a lot of these reflections are new in my mind and all this just happened this week. So this will probably be a part 1, and I want to do a part 2 video in a couple weeks. I want to dive into the concept of punching up and punching down, which kind of relates to some of the things I'm talking about on knowing your audience and analyzing your routine and thinking about any changes you have to make to perform well for your audience. So getting back to my original, I've told my coworkers that I started doing a deep dive into stand-up comedy, and I've invited them to things, but as teachers, we're tired and people don't really get out. And so I've invited them, and no one's been able to come. So someone at work said, well, hey, it's the end of the quarter. Could you just perform your routine for us for lunch? And I said, sure, that sounds fun. And I wanted to do my routine pretty much that I had professionally edited. And, because that's really what I've been practicing. That's what I'm really proud of. So, but I thought of my routine, and like I said, you might not know the routine because I don't have it publicly posted. You can look at the October video, and I kind of explain why I don't do that. But I don't have it all up online. So, but anyway, I looked at my routine, and it talks a little bit about asking for a raise or wanting a raise, and in my original routine, I love that line. I love that because teachers, we don't get paid enough. I mean, I'll just say it, we don't. We make sure that teachers there's a line, teachers make all the other professions happen. We make sure there's doctors out there, we make sure there's military. We make the other professions happen, and we barely get paid enough to make our bills. I mean, my bank account is empty right now. I'm trying to pay off bills. So, when I worked with Mia and we talked about how teachers don't get paid enough, and that is super important in a routine. And it does go over well, when you perform in public. And it's important societal, commentary. And that's what comedy is. It can be a societal commentary. So very important. Very good thing to have in the routine normally. But going up and performing something where I'm talking about how I don't get paid enough and that I want to raise in front of a bunch of coworkers, some might not even get paid as much as I do, and then it's just kind of tacky, I'm not I'm very happy where I work, and I actually get paid more than a lot of teachers in my region right now. I wrote this routine thinking about my some of my previous jobs, even some where I was director of a place and barely got paid. So, but this job actually does treat me really well, and teachers just in general in society could get paid a lot more. But this job, it's not really a problem with this job and what they can pay us. They pay us better than normal. So I knew for performing for my coworkers, I did focus on the fact that it's back to school and my bank account is pretty low. But I changed a line at the end that was more of a callback to the fact that I teach online now, so no one is coming into my class to talk about their dingus. So it's more of a selling point, a positivity toward the school, and it is a callback on some of my stories about Dingus Day and, people talking about, students talking about their dingus. So I changed the line a little bit, and I, slightly modified my routine, and I was a little nervous about the changes just because, when when you change the flow of your routine, like it's something you have to do as a comedian, but then it requires you to practice more, and you're just like, is this going to go over well? And anxiety takes over. We all like talked about that, like, anxiety a little bit. But anyway, it went over really well, and I recorded my performance. Can't put that online because it's out of school and it's, confidentiality and all that. But I recorded it just to see where the laughs were, and, at a school with my coworkers, and I would say this school, people don't really know me because when you teach online, you're in your own silo. And I don't really spend a lot of time with my coworkers. They're all really good people, but we're all really busy doing kind of our own work online. So they're kind of like, we know each other, but we're also kind of strangers. So, but they understood like the way it is to be a teacher. They understood my jokes, and and I'll look back at the footage, but they laughed a lot more at things than like a general audience would. And I just felt so seen. And one of my coworkers came to me afterwards and said, your voice cracked a little bit. Were you a little nervous? And I will say, like, yeah, it's a little nerve-wracking getting in front of your coworkers and performing. I did make those changes. You're also like, I'm also going up in front of your coworkers. You're also vulnerable. I'm going through my most vulnerable experiences, and I am still talking about dinguses, my dating life a little bit. I am sharing some student stories, but I'm also talking about, a student and giving them advice, or we're talking about semantics about condoms. So, I mean, it was pretty, basic, not graphic or no swear words, but it was still like getting out there, getting down, talking about real things that happened. And it was still, a lot. And I have some PTSD, in the past about, relating with people and connecting with people at work. So, but I did it, and it was a very positive experience. Where I work brought me flowers, and people were really positive about it. And all in all, it was just such a great experience. I even shared with a couple people on my team, my supervisor, and one person's. What I really did, and I'm so glad I did this, was I recorded me. I introduced myself because no one knew how to introduce me. I introduced myself and I explained to everyone. Like, I thanked everyone for coming. And I didn't just like me right now talking to you, like Amanda voice. And then I went into Amazing Amanda. Oh, yeah. I went into Amazing Amanda voice, and I got into my comedy persona. And one person saw that in the video I sent them. They weren't even there to see like the live performance. And they said, it's so cool to see a difference between you before and after you started your routine. There was a shift. It was awesome. And how you imitated the kid talking about the Trojan horse, you literally took on another persona. And that was just like the ultimate compliment. How they could see I shifted from myself as Amanda, the teacher, to my Amazing Amanda teacher persona. I just was like, oh, this is so validating. And no one from the local comedy community has ever given me feedback like that, but my coworker did. My coworker gave me that feedback. And, it's about finding your people. It's about finding your audience. And it's about getting out there, being with different people too. It's really important. So if you're local and you're doing the same thing, it's good for practice, but get out there, take an opportunity, even if it doesn't pay anything. Obviously I didn't get paid for this. But I was with different people. I was with people like in my area, people that understand, fellow teachers understand teachers. And and I will have other routines like about my life or about teaching things that I can work out. And you can teach anyone anything in a funny way if you're a teacher comedian. But yeah, I just felt really seen, and it gave me the energy to keep going, and I felt really like I was doing something right. So yeah, you saw me like talk to someone. I'm getting kicked out of the library, so I wanted to record that little reflection, and I'm gonna sign off and get moving. So I hope that you have a great November, and I will be signing on some other time in November to talk about punching up, not punching down, and I feel like that's the topic that comes next, about like knowing your audience, and it's a topic that I'm not seeing a whole lot lately, so I have some thoughts on it. So I hope that you take care, and I will talk to you again soon. Bye.